Village girl has put my name up there as a bad boy. That's first and foremost, because it portrayed me as that person who was the wrongdoer in everything.
It's a new beginning, marking the next chapter in a story that started 1 year ago. It's been 1 year since Mary Wangare, a girl from a humble village in Tatu, shared her story of resilience, hope, and transformation. A story that, though marked by struggles, blossomed into a powerful message of triumph. Mary's story has become more than just a book. It's a movement. From the very first page of The Village Girl, Mary captivated her readers, pouring her heart into each line, revealing her journey in raw and relatable detail. The Village Girl has touched the lives of thousands, sparking inspiration and awakening a deep sense of possibility.
How I met Mary was very interesting. I was actually 23. So I used to work for this organization where we used to hear of Mary, you know, the boss girl, but we had never quite placed a face to the name. So one day we're having an AGM and she walks in and it's dead quiet and everybody, you know, very organized. Then I asked, and who's that? He said, this is the Mary Wamae wa Equity. So from that on, I was so intrigued by her humility, very humble, doesn't shout. Her name actually precedes her. So, and should give all of us airtime. It doesn't matter whether you're the cleaner, you're the director, the CEO, truly Mary is a true village girl.
As the pages turned, so did the lives of those who read it. Many found themselves reflected in her story, their own battles mirrored in her victories, their own dreams rekindled by her courage.
The book to me is an eye-opener that you can come from a very humble background and become somebody who can actually change the world. Mary has done that.
Mary is a polite lady. She will never argue with you. She will always put you right in a very simple way, in a very polite way. Mary has shown a good example of helping the young people to improve in their lives so that when they grow up, they will be very responsible people.
I first met Mary right here at Romo House for a session that we call Executive Connect. And it has been an amazing journey with her since then. So I thought she would be stuck up and a snob given her big job in the biggest bank in the region, but that was far from it. Mary is humble, she's very gifted, deep in her reflections, and just ready always to just help somebody who has a question for her. So she's ready to give. You know, she's not the type of person who thinks of you as a threat.
Village Girl book, taking us through the journey of Mary, her dreams, you know, it gives hope. So for me, it is just the entire, this lady coming from the village, and the interesting part, the only lady who went to a boys' school, yeah, by then, and seeing her journey to rise even to the level of being among the most powerful people in Equity. It gives me hope. When I was reading that book, I was like, if I have to write my book, what will I title my book? My book, I'll title it Ghetto Girl. You know, I schooled in Eastlands. I was brought up by a single mother and struggles in life. And relating to Mary and where my current position as the managing director of a listed company, I can say, one, there's a God in heaven, and with willpower, being focused, you can make it. So the village girls can make it. The ghetto girls, where I came from, we can also make it.
She borrowed so much from my mother and my aunt. That aspect of love to other people became, you know, it's her, it is in her, it is her. Think about Mary, Mary will give you anything. That's her. But what is more interesting is, I saw Mary rise from the girl to the lawyer and then to the corporate world?
I've always known about Mary, but I met her last year at an investment conference in November. And she gave a talk, and it was so inspiring. So I said I have to buy her book. I noticed they were selling her book outside. So I actually bought 2 copies. And she signed one of my copies, which was so touching, and gave me her business card. Her story about her childhood and her mother really inspired me because despite her difficult circumstances, limitations in terms of money, she was very, very, how can I say it, wise and intentional with the way she pushed herself and for her children. So an example is her mom had an investment group, and with very little means, she was able to use that investment group to grow in terms of money, support her children, get them through school. And literally the same week, I convinced my friends to start an investment group, which is still going. Mary mentioned how her background was very specific, but because she worked in a bank, she had to learn so many things, whether it was finance, compliance. She stretched herself, and that's what helped her grow. And for me, my background is very specific as well, marketing, but I work in the finance world. So that pushed me to do finance courses, be interested in what the analysts are talking about, and that has actually helped me grow.
Mary's story has opened doors to mentorship and connection, leading her to stages and boardrooms across the region, from corporate giants like Image Registrar and Atlas Copco to intimate gatherings of dreamers and strivers. Mary has shared one powerful message: that no dream is too big and no background too small.
I've read The Village Girl, not once, not twice, and I have distributed the book very well because the one thing I call that book is the rawness. The rawness of a book, for me, really inspired me, and it's through a journey that tells you anyone can do it. Then one of the things, the passion that Mary has for whatever she sets her eyes on, the balance and the energy to go for it. I mean, for me, and in all that, still remain very humble. One unique thing that I really picked also out is how she's maintained relationships. I mean, I was surprised how she'd talk about somebody in the village and all that. You know, you'd expect that maybe she lost track with some people along the way, and it happens. But for me, it just brought me back to thinking that you never forget the people you are with, the foundation you had, and the relationship, the importance of cementing some of these relationships, because that in her position is what also I see. People have held her because of the way she holds those relationships in high regard. That for me was just then interesting, and the rawness of that. And I said, you can actually bear yourself out to people to tell them it's possible. Not everyone's journey is this very textbook perfect life. The reason I invited Mary to talk about her book and many other things at this organization is, number one, I've been with this organization for 17 years. I've seen the journey. Majority of our people are also very young generation, very young people, and starting out with career, family, and just trying to set pace for their lives. And when I saw Mary, most of us know Mary because of the industry we are in. And I felt the knowledge and the passion, what she had and the journey, in as much as you keep talking to people and telling them it's possible, but to see a live demonstration of that kind of journey, and not to want to, it's knowledge that you say you don't want to hide it and keep it within yourself, that it's only me who knows what Mary has done and that. So I felt I needed to distribute that information to people. And it's interesting, various people picked various elements. We have, for instance, a legal officer here, Patricia, where for her, it's information, you know, that you pick out and see actually can be, and starting out also in her practice here, to say that I can actually be grow within the legal field, within an internal environment, not just an outsourced lawyer. People looking at it that even as you start out your families, you can actually rise regardless and just set pace. Mary was just another example of the you can do it. That when I tell you, I've been here, I normally tell my story to our staff. I've been here as a clerk, I've been here as a junior officer, I've seen the growth, and just then Mary for me was somebody who could, an external party that could paint that picture so perfectly for us.
One of the key things I have learned from that book is there is nobody who cannot be anybody. Looking at Mary and what she has gone through and what she is today, it tells me everybody has a purpose in this world. Two, I've also realized that women can do as well as men if they are given the chance, but they have to fight for it.